In a previous video, I shared how our unhealthy relationships with others really mirror and reflect our unhealthy relationship with aspects of ourself. How our aspects of ourself that are unintegrated are reflected as some of these relationships that we encounter in everyday life. So I wanted to actually show you how you can use this as a mirror, a reflection for actually integrating the shadow, these aspects of yourself that are denied, abandoned, rejected, suppressed, really represent the shadow, the unintegrated parts of yourself. So when you encounter these difficult relationships, these poor relationships, the challenge in some of these relationships that often trigger you, create stress, struggle, confront you, these relationships become a tool, like a mirror, helping you see those aspects of yourself that you have yet to integrate and are actually projecting as these people in your life that are mirroring those unintegrated aspects of yourself that you find confronting or difficult or problematic. So in the previous video, I gave the example, I think it was something like a father who dismisses his son because his son represents more of the embodied feminine, the openness, the sensitivity, the receptivity. I think I gave the example that the son is open to feeling his emotions. He's sensitive to his feelings. And the father has the viewpoint, the narrative, which is the resistance, the rejection, the abandonment of those aspects of himself, the soft, the open, the sensitive, feminine that is actually within him. And because he rejects it within himself, he rejects it in his son. I think I gave the example that his son was creative, into arts, and often this artistic side of ourself is dismissed, it's degraded, it's not seen as important as the practical side. So when the son follows his heart, wanting to play guitar or piano, then this is dismissed by the father. Get a real job. No one can get money in this world playing guitar or playing the piano, he says. And this sort of narrative, this sort of dismissal is because he has not listened to his own heart. And he's avoiding, he's denying, he's suppressing that feminine essence that is that creative flow. I think I gave another example of the inverse of a woman who hasn't integrated the masculine energy, deals with self-respect, self-worth, boundaries, value. So then has problematic relationships with people in her life that actually set boundaries, that know their worth, that express that respect and honor in how they stand. It could also be experienced as the lack of containment, the lack of structure, the lack of authority, because she hasn't integrated that masculine energy. She then is confronted by it with those people in her life, in the relationship she experiences, as an expression of that masculine energy. So it's very confronting. It creates that confrontation, which is like looking at a mirror. Only you're seeing those parts of yourself that have been hidden, that have been rejected, that have been denied, that have been suppressed. So you face this fragmentation, this split, when experiencing those relationships, whether it comes as someone in your life who sets those boundaries, and then you now have the problem with someone who sets boundaries. See, people only have problems with others who set boundaries, who have yet to integrate that masculine energy that sets boundaries themselves. Those who set boundaries actually respect others who set boundaries. Someone may have issues with authority, structure, order. This is all because one has a poor relationship with the structure, the order, the authority within themselves, which is really an expression of the masculine energy. Someone may have troubles with others who live more relaxed. They express themselves, they live effortlessly. There's more spaciousness in their life. They're not grinding all the time, they're not working hard. And this is very triggering to one who hasn't integrated that feminine energy, that feminine essence that relaxes, makes space, yields to what is, and flows effortlessly. One who's constantly working harder and harder and think that effort is the way, they will find someone who is living effortlessly to be very triggering, because it will reflect back what's actually unnecessary. All that hard work is not necessary. Why are you doing so much when you don't need to? The one who has not integrated their feminine essence, not learned to relax, unwind, open up, soften, surrender, will look at that person, label it laziness, when really they've just got in touch with their feminine essence and learned to soften and surrender to life instead of that constant uphill battle. They've stopped hitting their head against the wall, expecting a different outcome. So that's another example. Hey, the flow, the creativity, the intuition is also another quality, another aspect of the feminine. When one is not looking outside of themselves for answers, when one is not trying to rationalize everything and use logic for everything, it's because they are connected to their feminine essence, and that inner wisdom, that intuition is guiding them. When one hasn't integrated that feminine essence, it's like they don't have access. I shouldn't say it that way. It's like they're just not listening to that inner wisdom within them. So there's a lot of doubt. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of second guessing themselves. And they're always looking to the outside for answers because they're not listening to their own intuition. What's another example? Kind of related is the clarity, the vision, the aligned action. These are masculine qualities. That clarity, that vision, that aligned action. Let's throw in there the discernment, the decisiveness, the direction. These masculine aspects will be very triggering to one who doesn't have, I shouldn't say it that way. It's not that they don't have, it's that they haven't integrated that masculine energy. So it's like they're cut off from that vision. They can't see clearly. They lack the direction because they can't see. Because they can't see, because they don't know the direction, they fail to take action. So being around someone who has the vision, who sees it clearly, who then takes direction, has discernment, and is decisive in their action, it may feel very overwhelming to someone else who has yet to integrate that. Whoa, you're moving too fast. How are you? And they can't process everything, especially when that action is married to the feminine, where it's inspired action. Because to that, it looks irrational. To have that laser focus where you've let go of the distractions. It's very confronting to one that is not connected to that clarity, who lacks the focus. Because the one who's very clear will reflect how the other one is so distracted, caught up in unnecessary things, doing all these things that are really distractions. And one who has the clarity, sees the vision, has the discernment, is moving with direction and taking aligned action, lives with purpose. So that will be very confronting to one who hasn't integrated those aspects of the masculine energy within themselves. So what am I getting at with all this? You can actually use this, those signs, read the signs when you feel triggered, when you feel confronted, when you feel uneasy, when you feel that tension, being around these mirrors in your life. You can use that to do the inner work. You can do that to integrate those aspects of yourself that you have been denying, that you have been avoiding, that you have been suppressing. So that when you get in front of someone who is the mirror, you don't blame the mirror for what you see, but instead you use that mirror to reveal more of yourself. And like this, those problematic, poor relationships, whatever label we were using to describe those relationships become a gift because they help you see yourself more clearly. What I'm sharing with you is just how to shift your perspective. The same way I just said, don't blame the mirror for what you see, but instead use that mirror as a tool to see yourself more clearly. And you'll see those unintegrated parts of yourself. Instead of blaming the other in the relationship, you'll thank the other. Because what they're actually revealing to you is a gift. Because those unintegrated parts of yourself, perhaps it's the clarity, the fluidity, the softness, the surrender, the strength, maybe the purpose, maybe the openness, the receptivity, the boundaries, whatever it is, those unintegrated parts of yourself, when they are integrated, they transform your life. If you're ready to integrate more of yourself, if you're ready to embody you and your wholeness, then I invite you to step into the container of truth, where I will be that mirror to help show you who and what you truly are. So ultimately you can live this life as your true self. Join me in truth.